do is start with questions that may lead to the mediumship. I don't know. Are there any mics that people will be using, Andrew?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have mic runners?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so in order for you to be heard in the taping, you'll have to wait for the mic. Otherwise, it's not.
My question
Okay.
is this on?
That's a good question. Yeah, he can hear you, so it's fine.
Sorry,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, he just went. Ah.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm very sensitive to energies, and so I was told to constantly ground and protect.
Mhm.
I don't do the protecting so much because I'm afraid that I'm going to block receiving messages. Is that the case?
It's all about intention. So if your intention is to protect yourself from outside energies, that's what you'll be protected from, not the messages from the spirit world. And they can get through that anyway, no matter how much you protect yourself. I just did a meditation with my students the other night, and what I did was I had them visualize like a golden energy around your aura and use that as protection. Okay? There's also a wonderful book out by William Bloom. It's an old one. It's called Psychic Protection, and the reason I like it is because it's not kind of woo-woo out there stuff. It's very grounded, and that might be helpful as well. You're probably empathic. Have they given you that name? Empathic?
Well, yeah, I've always been that, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And anybody who's empathic will pick up other people's energy, and what they do is they can sense the energy field of the person, and even though we may not be thinking stuff, it's still in our energy field. And that's what's going on. Yeah, so malls and concerts, they really can provide a lot of challenge for empaths. Yeah. Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we've got the runner back. And there was a hand over here. Thank you.
Now, this isn't working, obviously.
No, it is.
Oh,
He's
is it?
picking
I'm
it up.
sorry.
Yeah.
Now, when was the first time, like, that you had any inclination of anything? Like, how did you know
Okay.
that you had this gift?
Okay, the question is, how did I know I had the gift? I didn't. It was only in retrospect, because it was normal for me, that I thought everybody had these gifts, until I realized that you don't talk about this outside your family because people will think you're nuts, right? So it's funny to say, but if you go on my website, the blog that my husband just wrote is the first psychic experience I ever had, and it's much longer, but oh yes, thank you. I'm going to pass this around. If you want to know more about what I'm doing, sign up. If you don't, pass it on, okay? If you're already on my on my email, don't bother adding your name because you're already there. Okay, so what happened was I was sick as a dog. I was 8 years old, and my mother looked at me and said, "Oh God, Carolyn, you look awful. Go to bed." So after lunch, I went up to my room, I laid down, and I thought, I just want to die. I had like this massive head cold, and with being eight and everything melodramatic, that's how I felt. So I put my hands over my chest like this, thinking, I'm going to die. I'm just going to die. That's what I want. And I closed my eyes, and the door to my room opened and shut 12 times. Like click, open, click, open, click. And yeah, no, what happened was all the way around my bed, I sensed these energies, these white columns of energy that were, quite tall, probably about 8 feet tall. And with that, I fell asleep after the 12th. And when I woke up an hour later, I had no cold. So I'm thinking they wanted me to stay here, so they fixed me. So that was my first experience, but I really didn't recognize that it was unusual until I was about 20. Yeah.
So you never told your mom?
No, I thought it was normal. Yeah, you got to understand our family. My mother's mother, my grandmother, was a hairdresser, and she had a client who was the medium for Prime Minister Mackenzie King, who was a spiritualist. So they used to have seances in the dining room, and their big complaint was ectoplasm stains on the dining room chairs. Okay, and then on my father's side, who's Irish, so there's a lot of spirituality with that, my grandfather saw a psychic weekly, and when I had a horrific message from a medium, which you'll never get from me, I called my father and said, help me. I have no idea why I'm calling you, but just help me. And he took me to my mentor who trained me for over 20 years. So there's a lot of family stuff that's in my experience, and I do believe that there's a genetic component to my work because there's 3 girls and 2 of us are full-time mediums. And the third one's a skeptic, but she's fantastic with business, very intuitive. So, you know, she's got it, but she doesn't see it as I see it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? Oh, let's go over here because it's closer. Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I had a very unusual experience about a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving on the 401, and all of a sudden I heard a ping in my head, and I went off the side and down into a gully, and I had a flash of seeing a tree in front of me, and the car, there was $10,000 worth of damage to the side. And next thing I knew, I was back up high. The car had gotten up the hill somehow, and I was driving on the 401, and I didn't hit anybody, nothing happened, but I felt like somebody had intervened.
Sounds like it. I don't know exactly what the ping is, but I think it was some kind of indication that there was help from the other side. It wasn't your time, and I call them guardian angels. We all have them, and that one was working overtime for you. Yeah.
That's what I felt. They did testing for months for
there's
heart
nothing.
and head.
No.
Nothing.
No, that's. Sometimes, you know, when you hear that high-pitched whine in your ear and you think, what? And it's not tinnitus. It just comes and goes. Those
so that
are
was actually a sign, that ping, because I kept talking about the ping, and none of the doctors could figure out what this ping would be.
Yeah, I think it was an angelic form somehow. That high-pitched whine in your head is like angels speaking to you, but they're so highly vibrating that they come across as quite high. The energy is quite high, and that's why it hums that way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's a lady over there. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I too, as a child, experienced a lot of stuff, and I would cry to my mom, saying that this couple kept staring at me, and priest blessing me, holy water, being Greek Orthodox, everything was blessed.
Right.
And then I was told to say all these things to try to protect me, but how do you know if something's good or bad? Like I was told, when you see darkness, like if you see a silhouette that's dark, it's bad. If it's white, it's good. Is that true?
From my experience, shadow people are spirit, and we usually see them in our periphery. They're not bad.
Okay.
They just show themselves that way. As children, we are most open. And around age 5 to 7, when we start going to school and we become more social, like in the community, it shuts down. And the reason being is that we have to have a human experience. That's why we're here. Then in my generation, it was around age 40, things would open up again. You know, when you get to a place of, well, you know, I've got the car, I've got the house, I've got the kids, I've got the husband, why don't I feel happy? You know, that's when we start thinking about our spirituality again, and that's when it starts to open up. So I believe, I bet it shut down, right? After
No, they followed me actually. I remember up until I was 17 years old.
17, okay.
And then my father and I were both very connected, and he would see a lot of things and experience a lot of things along with me.
Right.
And I welcome it, and then when I say, okay, come in, and then I freak out and say, okay, you gotta leave. You just gotta go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's good or bad, and I'm scared to.
Well, Hollywood puts a real spin on this, and they've got this horror thing going on. If these people are actually living amongst us in a different dimension, Some of us have the gift to be able to see them. And that's what's happening with you.
Okay.
Sometimes what happens is those people are attached to the house that you're living in, and they think it's their house, so they're living there. You know the Nicole Kidman's movie? I can't remember the name of it. The Others.
Yeah, I don't watch scary movies.
No. Well, I'm not gonna let the punch. I don't feel that. Was it a very scary movie? No, not really. But anyway, and it's not. You're not experiencing it now.
Oh yeah.
Still?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Every night.
Well,
Every night.
they are
Every
more
night.
active at night than they are in the day because
Yeah.
everything else shuts down. If you don't like it, I would suggest you read that book, Psychic Protection by William Bloom, and shut it down. But I'll just tell you this, when you shut it down, it's done.
I don't want to shut it down. I just
Okay.
want to know that
c-
it's
It's
I-
not bad
Yeah,
because they're
that's-
not attacking you.
Right.
They're just kind of existing with you. It's not bad. There are psychic attacks for sure, but it doesn't sound to me as though that's
No.
what's happening. So,
no.
you know, you're just seeing a different dimension. That's what's
Okay.
going on.
I truly believe it's my brother and my father, but
Then why would you be afraid of them?
no, because I don't know. Then I start to question, is it them? And then
If that's what your sense is, I would go with it.
Yeah.
And I'd also tell you this, every spirit takes their mind, their memory, their soul, and their personality with them. So who they were here is what they are there,
okay.
okay?
Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Hi. My father passed away in 2007. I was very close to my father. And he was far away. I moved from my country in Canada, and he was back home. And he was very sick. And I had vision in my mind where was his bed in hospital. And after I find out, there was exactly on that spot where I had in my mind. And after he passed away, I had unbelievable dreams. He'll come in my dream
Right.
to say, I'm okay now.
Right.
And it is hard to believe, is that dream or not?
It's not a dream, it's called a visitation. And what happens is we actually go to that place 3 to 5 times a week. Whether we remember or not is another story. And what happens is our spirit loved ones will come and talk to us and say, we're fine, we're doing okay. It's very vivid, it's very
Yes,
real. It's like
yes.
you're living it. Then you know that's their direct message to you. Now I'm going to say this, those kinds of dreams stop being so frequent. Because what happens
Exactly.
is they are now in your conscious state. So they will do certain things to make you aware that they're with you when you're awake. So, you know, lights dimming, or you see little white lights, you know, sparkly lights, or you see the shadow people, or you might hear a song and think, oh my gosh, that reminds me of my dad. Or,
Yes,
yes, all
exactly.
of those things, or birds near a window, you know, they don't become the bird, but they impress the bird because it's something that you would notice. So they do all kinds of things in your waking time, because I don't know why they do evolve and change, and somehow, oh, thank you. What Spirit's telling me is they're not always certain that you're going to remember the visitation, but you will certainly remember in your waking state when you get connected with them.
And you're absolutely right. First year or even second year was, I have very often dreams. Actually, he will come to visit me. There was such a vivid dream, and situation was so real. But now rare. It's not that
It's
often
rare.
like
Yeah.
before.
Just
but-
remember those wonderful times and just watch, and anything that makes you think of your father,
Yes.
know it's him getting to you, especially if he shows up in your head, you know, like in your active imagination where you're not thinking about him at all, or you get this thought, like a thought impression thinking, oh my gosh, that would be something my dad would say.
Yeah.
That's him speaking to you.
And what's happening once around his birthday, that was, I almost fall asleep. I had nap, and I felt my spirit separate from my body, and I had some kind of connection. Later, I find out that was maybe astral projection,
Yeah,
and it was silver cord, which I didn't know about
Yeah.
that before. This was beautiful feeling, such a nice
it's
feeling.
euphoria. Yeah, because you've gone home. That's where
Yeah.
we belong. Not really, we
Exactly.
don't really belong here. Now, she was mentioning the etheric cord. It's attached here at the solar plexus, and it's what attaches our spirit with our body, and it can stretch forever. However, if it's cut, that's when we pass away.
Yeah, that's what my husband said. Don't do it anymore. Maybe
No,
you
no,
can come
you're
back.
fine. No, no, honestly, you're fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It will not cut until it's your time to go.
Yes.
Now, have you ever jerked yourself awake?
Sorry?
Have you ever jerked yourself awake?
No.
Has anybody experienced that? Okay, what that is when you are astral traveling and you come back into your body too fast and you're back in. You kind of crash land into your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very
I
much.
have
No,
just-
I need to go to other people, but thank you so
Okay,
much.
there was something
Thank you.
interesting. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
For the past year or so,
Yes.
I've been seeing numbers.
Yes.
11, 11.
Uh-huh.
It started with 22, then it went to 55, and it was everywhere. It was on trucks, it was on billboards, it was on signs. And now it's back again, and I'm seeing 11, 11. I go to bed, the clock's 11, 11. I'm in my car, and it's not that I'm looking at the clock. I'll
Right.
be driving, and then all of a sudden, my daughter-in-law's been with me, and I've showed it to her when she dropped me off. I said, "Oh my God!" And then I explained to her. What do you make of that?
There's a book called Angel Numbers by Doreen Virtue, and it
Okay.
lists numbers from, I think, 0 to 999. I use actually the triple numbers because I said to Spirit, you know, you got to make it really obvious that I get it. So I want 3 numbers, like 3 of the same. And there is, if you look online, 1111, there is a meaning for it. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it means like a portal is opening. So look that up. And also, if you're interested in numbers,
Yes.
check out Doreen Virtue's Angel Numbers.
Angel numbers?
Yeah,
Okay.
there are messages from the spirit world.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Here's one up here. Thank you.
You'd mentioned sort of hearing in your own head. I lost someone very recently who was very close to me. And I wonder when I'm talking, sorry, I still get it.
When you're talking to yourself, are you talking, is it a him? Okay. The answer is yes. They are connected to us by telepathy. So when we think about them, they're right there. When we talk to them, they're right there. And what I would suggest, I would have a little bit of fun with it and ask a question, and you'll see that you'll get the answer ahead of the question being finished. And then you know it's spirit, because they work much faster than us. Now, are you getting goosebumps here on your arm? That's a spirit hug. Are you getting it right now? Yeah, because me too. You're just being hugged by this fella. So that's another way for you to know that he is around. And was there illness with him? Okay. So, and his first name, please?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. Nick?
We did call him Nick.
Okay, he's calling himself Nick, I have to say.
Nico.
Okay, thank you, Nico. And was he kind of tall,
Yeah.
like my height?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, taller than you.
No.
Okay, he is in the spirit world.
Maybe.
Height was important to him, right?
Oh, that would
Yeah, he's telling me it is. Okay, I'm just going to go with him. And I'm just going to say, I have to say he suffered in silence with his illness. And he wants to let you know that there is no more suffering now. Now, is there some kind of memorial coming up for him?
There's been several things.
Okay, there's something more coming up for him. And there's also something going to be either a plaque or a tree or something that's,
There's
okay.
a tree.
There's a tree. Okay, and he wants to say thank you so much for that. I feel like somebody was instrumental in getting the type of tree. There was talk about which tree they were going to choose. Do you know about this?
A bit.
Okay, because he's thinking, oh my God, it's just a tree. But anyway, he says, just get the thing planted. That's his attitude. But he's fine. He's doing well. And I'm tasting a lot of meat with him. Did he like meat? Well, guess what he's doing now? And he doesn't have to worry about any kind of weight gain or anything like that. Not that he worried about it in this world, but he's saying that I'm tasting all kinds of meat. And he says he's making up for lost time, because I feel like that kind of thing was not available to him near the end of his days. So okay, here's another thing. Have you ever smelled ground beef and nobody's cooking it? Okay, will you watch for that? Because that'll be him.
Okay.
Call him the meat man.
He is the meat.
Yeah, he is the meat man. Okay, and may I leave that with you? Thank you. Okay, another question? Here, I'll just pass it over. Thank you. it's nice and warm. Ooh,
I just have a question about reincarnation
okay.
as far as connecting with spirit again. So I recently had a reading, and the lady said that my grandfather would reincarnate into my son, but I was wondering how then would I connect with my grandpa?
You wouldn't be able to.
I wouldn't?
No, no, because now his soul would be in your son. So he's not available as your grandfather anymore. And the reason I know that is that when somebody is reincarnated, I can't reach them. Now, normally what will happen is they wait until you go home. It's unusual that they really want to come back here. It's kind of like a hard place to be. So they usually wait until everybody comes home, everybody that remembers them. So the great-grandkids wouldn't remember. So then, you know, then there's talk now of moving back and coming back into this world. And it's about 200 years.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Who else? Thank you.
Okay, I don't know if you can answer this question, but I'm looking for your guidance on this. Is there a connection or a relationship between the God consciousness, extraterrestrial intelligence, and our guardian angels or angels?
Okay, so the first of the three was the God consciousness?
Yeah, God consciousness.
Okay.
The extraterrestrial intelligence and guardian angels.
Okay, I'm going to go to the ETs first, okay?
You
All
bet.
right. Yes, they exist. It's hard for me to believe that we're the only thing going on here. And, you know, when you look at our Milky Way and the gazillions of stars and galaxies that are in our Milky Way, and then multiply that by how many other galaxies there are out there, our science is not as advanced as some. I believe that they do come in peace. I believe the crop circles are part of their message to us, that they're providing beauty and science in a way that we hopefully will understand. Again, I think that Hollywood's kind of given them a bum rap. I have not had an ET encounter, but I do believe that there are families that have had it through the generations. Why? I'm not sure. They are very interested in us. They don't understand why we can be so aggressive, how we can exist in such an aggressive world. They're curious about our atmosphere, our science, our societies. They want to learn from us and perhaps not make the same mistakes we've been making. There are different types. You've heard of the grays, and there are others as well. I think that somebody's telling me up there there's the blues as well. I don't know much about them. But I heard a story once where a very famous medium took a bunch of people to Sedona because apparently that's a great place to see them. And he took them out in the evening and he said, okay, let's just kind of sit quietly and see what we can see in the stars. And they saw nothing. So then he got this idea, why don't we meditate? And they did. And then the whole place was filled with them. And the thing is, meditation raises our vibration level so that we can see things differently. And their vibration level is different to ours, much higher. So we were able to meet their consciousness was able to meet with what's out there. There are a lot of sightings that go unreported because I think we'd have mass hysteria with them. But for the most part, I don't feel that they're here to hurt us. Now, our guardian angels, I believe, are our family. They're the ones that have passed to spirit and love us so much that they're willing to ping in our ear. Where's the lady? There you go. To let us know, you know, there's a problem, or they may, you know, you may ask, you know, should I be doing this, that, or the other thing, and you might get a quick answer. It could be from one of them. They're people that you know, but they're not your guides. Completely different. Guides have millennia of experience. They are assigned to you, and when you're finished with them because you've reached your goal with them, they'll move on. and hopefully be replaced by other guides. Your guardians don't leave you. Now, the God consciousness, I believe, is the source with everything that's happened to us. It's energy, it's a male-female presence, because it's made in our, we represent that energy. Now, I'm going to say this, if you guys don't believe this, that's fine. Just throw it out. I'm good with it. But every experience that we have is registered back to that source. So as we're perfecting, so is it. So you look at the room here, and you can imagine every experience that you have is going back up there. Can you see how much faster that source is perfecting to what we are? So that when the guides and angels are assigned, there's a lot of information that they are privy to help us. So always pray to the God of your understanding. Don't pray to your angels, and the right ones will show up for you. Very benevolent. It's not the Old Testament hateful God. Very loving, because in heaven, that is the overlay is love. That's it. Nothing else. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, pass it on.
Hi. My father's 91 years old.
Oh, God bless him.
And very healthy,
Uh-huh.
very bright.
Uh-huh.
He lives at home by himself, and he goes down the basement and he watches TV in his lounge chair. And for the last 3 years, he'll fall asleep in the chair, and all of a sudden, he'll feel a tug on his foot. And he'll wake up, and he will see a vision. And it is varied over the years. Sometimes it's been a beautiful woman. He saw a construction worker a couple of weeks ago. He has seen a variety of things. And I've told him, well, Dad, maybe you're still sleeping. He goes, absolutely not.
No,
I
they're
am
waking him
not
up.
sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh my God, that sounds scary. He said, no, it's actually, I'm not afraid at all.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, he's a very bright man, and he wouldn't be making this up. And for 3 years, he's been telling me about these experiences. I'm wondering, what is that?
It's spirit people coming to chat with them. As we get closer to our time to go, and I have no idea when your dad's going to go home, we become more spirit than we do stay in our human state. We become more available to the spirit world. Our more opens up so that we can connect better with them, and they see that. They see our light, our soul light, and they're attracted by that. And oftentimes, spirit just wants to be recognized. Hey, here, hi, I'm here. Nobody else is talking to me, but you see me, thanks. That kind of thing. So there's nothing really, there's no premonition with this at all. It's just, he's lucky.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And he has quite a long time yet, I have to tell you, so hope he enjoys that chair. Oh, here's one.
Why do you think certain people like yourself have the ability to talk to spirit and not everybody or in the room does?
I believe everybody is able to. It's whether or not they realize they're able to. I train people to do it. We're all spirit first, having a human experience. So it's like, when you start as a baby, you kind of crawl, and then you walk, and then you run. This is what psychic development is about, learning about your inner spirituality and working with it in order to then go out and work with the spirit world. So we can all do it. Just, it's just like a gift. Some people can sit down and play the piano really well, but other people, if they learn, they can play the piano too.
Sorry, did you work on it, or this is just a gift to you?
It is a gift, but I did work on it. Yeah, I had she's calling herself a master. She's in spirit now. A mentor for 20 years, yeah, who trained me. So I can't say I'm lucky, because I don't think it's luck that gets you there. It's like predestined for me. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, we got one. Oh, let's go over here, and then we'll come over here, okay? Thank you.
Okay, I've just got a question about suicide.
Okay.
So if somebody commits suicide, does that mean their time has come and they've chosen that? Like-
Okay, first of all, I say complete suicide, and if you read my book, Compassionate Messenger, I believe I do talk about suicides. They choose their time to go, whereas if it's a natural death, it's part of your Akashic record. So if you were supposed to live to 92, then at your Akashic record end time, you will go home naturally through, you know, however way that death has been written. If it's suicide, they've gone home too soon. So they are not judged over there like we judge suicide here. They're welcomed with open arms, and then they go through a process where they learn why, you know, and oftentimes it's mental illness that takes them, and then they learn about that and hopefully atone for it, because when all of us will have to atone for our behavior one way or the other. The difference about suicide I've learned, and again this is controversial, so throw it out if you don't believe it, that's fine, is that if you leave early, you still have time to make up. So you got to come back and finish it. Now, I don't believe you boomerang right back in, because I've done readings with people who have completed suicide, and they're in there, they're talking to me like any spirit person, okay? It's okay. It's all right. So they will have to make up the time by coming back. So they will have to come back because the record isn't complete. But they are welcomed the same. Do you have a suicide around you? Is that why you're asking? Was it a girl? It was male? Young? Okay. Yeah, we need some water. Thank you. Now, this choking, does this have anything to do with what happened to this young male? Yeah? Was there an issue around the neck? Okay, that's what's going on here. Is what will happen is sometimes they'll impress themselves on you in one way or the other. Now, this coughing, you haven't been coughing before now, right? This is unusual? Okay. Yeah, but you haven't been coughing all night, right? Until we started talking about this. Okay. So what happens is Spirit will impress themselves on you. In your mind, just tell him by name, call him by name, and just say, please stop this. And you'll find that the coughing will stop. There you go, it stopped. So that's what happens. When I do readings, what will happen to me is, if it's a heart attack, I'll feel it. If there's a stroke, I'll feel it in something in my head. If there's cancer, I'll feel it somewhere in my body, or I'll actually taste what it tastes like to have chemotherapy. They will impress themselves on me. And as soon as I speak to it, it stops. So you keep telling him, stop this. I don't need this anymore, okay? I know you're with me. You don't have to show it to me that way. Do you have the mic? Can you, you know what, I'll come back to you as soon as you clear your throat, okay? I promise, okay. All right, there was some, right here?
Sorry. When it's in regards to an accident, is that like their time to go, or
Yes.
was it just
Yeah, when it is an accident, it is their time to go. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We were coming back from Florida many, many years ago when our children were smaller, and we stayed at a motel in Georgia, in Atlanta, and it was an absolutely beautiful, beautiful place, and we were happy to be there. But in the middle of the night, I had this horrific dream whereby someone had their hands around my neck and was choking me. So I thought it was a nightmare, and I woke up, and went back to sleep again, and my husband was there beside me, and the 2 kids were in the bed beside us. And I had exactly the same dream a second time where somebody was choking me, and I was literally like choking and I couldn't breathe. Anyway, I finally did go back to sleep, and it happened a 3rd time. So I got up and I woke everybody up, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and I said we had to leave, and we did. But would that have been something awful that had happened in that room
Yes.
that was still there and it was affecting me?
Yeah, and somehow, was this male? Was this a male?
I got the sense it
Okay.
was a male, yes.
Yeah. So I have a feeling he was reenacting what he was doing in that room at whatever time he did it. And he was triggered by you being in that room. Yeah. It's not all love and light over there, I have to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't go back to that hotel. Was it the Bates Hotel? Or okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm able to reach over with past loved ones and that, but my grandmother, she died before I was born, and she was a medium. And I'm just wondering sometimes why I'm having troubles connecting with her, but I sense that she wants to connect with me. And I just wonder if you have any suggestions, or does she?
Interesting you say it that way. I like that. What I suggest is meditate with her in mind and ask her to come during your meditation, and the 2 of you can connect that way. When you raise your vibration level and she lowers hers, and the 2 of you touch, that's when you'll sense her.
Okay, so she's not going to show me any other little
Not,
signs?
you know what,
She's-
she'll teach you.
Yeah.
And then she'll tell you what she's going to do, and then you'll watch for it. So I feel like it'll be told to you ahead of time. And don't expect her to be the old lady that she was when she passed to spirit. I feel like she'll come through quite young, and you'll think, Grandma? But they can do that.
No, she died when she was 52. So
I
she was-
get her back to 32. So if she comes in as young, don't worry about it. She's been there a while. She earned her stripes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Just back behind you.
Do you know if we have, like, I know we have people spirit guides, but are the animal spirit guides totally separate, or somebody's interpretation of the people spirit guides?
I think that there are animal spirit guides as well. If you read Animals Speak by Ted Andrews,
Yeah.
there's a huge compendium of animals and why they show up in your meditations or in your prayers, or you might even see them. So, and they all have their reason to be with you. Like bear is healing, wolf is teaching. That's very general. But if you read the book, you'll get more of an understanding. And I'll tell you another thing too. Pets will come back.
Oh.
Yeah, they have souls too, and you know they're very loving energies. And have you ever seen any kind of shadows on the floor?
Yeah.
That's animals.
Okay.
Shadows on the floor. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen birds flying around too in the middle of in one of the classes, and I'm supposed to be the teacher, and I'm doing this, watching. It's crazy. Yes.
My question is, I'll get messages for other people, but I'll feel it physically.
Yes.
And then after I've given the message, it still sits with me. How do I get rid of that?
If
That's
it isn't
not
mine, take it away from me. That's
Yeah.
what you say.
Oh,
If it
just say
isn't
that.
mine, take it away from me. And you should feel immediate relief. Immediate. And you know what? If you're so empathic, you got to start setting boundaries and what you will and will not accept.
So how do you do that?
You just say, I don't want to feel this kind of stuff. Don't do this to me. If you want to deal with me, you'll have to do it X, Y, Z. This is the way I want it. All right. Like, and your other question?
Okay, I know that the night that he hung himself, I had a violent dream.
Uh-huh.
And I remember there were 2 people involved in it. I don't remember exactly what was going on, but I woke up at, in the early morning, late, whatever it was, and going, whoa, that was bad, and going, but it's not about me. And I went back to sleep, and it was the next day that I got the message. So
Okay.
why would I get a message like that? Like, what purpose does that serve?
Well, I feel like, thoughts travel. We're telepathic. And it could have been, I don't know what the connection of this fella is to you, but somehow he had connected to you mind to mind, and you picked it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever had the experience where you're thinking about somebody and then you get a phone call or an email? Oh, yeah. Okay, so what happens is they're thinking of you, you go, oh, and then they do what they're thinking they're going to do. Yeah. Yes.
I have a question. I had a daughter that recently bought a house. It was 75 years old, and my animals told me that there were spirits in the house.
Yes.
It was our second occurrence with a spirit. Was she meant to have that house so that we could clear that house? Because we did clear the house.
You did? Because I'm seeing smudge everywhere. Did you smudge it?
We did, sage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
So-
I feel like it needs to be done more
Okay.
often, you know, like
I had
twice a year.
Okay, I did have a medium come in. I had it properly done. She was there for 2 hours. She had done a shamanic clearing of the house.
I think you can do it now.
Okay,
Yeah, just it's like maintenance.
okay.
Yeah, because remember, these people that are associated with these buildings think it's theirs.
She said there was no familial connection. We actually
Yeah.
there was a familial connection. She said that there were 3 of them stuck at different frequencies. None of the other ones knew that they were there, and that there was a ley line on the house, and that they had been caught in this portal.
Okay, well, I'm not too sure about that.
Okay.
What I know is when you have hauntings, it's because they think it's their house.
Okay.
And they're not willing to move.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we did clear them. When we come to this life, do we arrange to have spiritual lessons like this? Had we
Yes.
arranged to help these people cross?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
It's written up in your Akashic records. I don't read those records. There are people that can do a darn good job of it.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
if you're
you.
curious. Yeah, thank you. Let's go to somebody who hasn't asked a question, okay? There's, okay, the blonde, and then the lovely lady with the dark hair and white sweater after, okay? Please.
Hello.
Hi.
I just want to ask you two questions. Were you in Lilydale in '04?
I've been there for a long time, yes.
Because we went there and it was an amazing place, and if people haven't gone, they should go. And we're trying to go again this year for sure.
Get your hotel booked.
I know.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
My other question is, my whole life I've always been very gifted as well, and I do have practice now. But my question to you is, I would like to get into solving murder cases and finding missing children.
Okay,
And I've had a
Linda
few meetings with
DeJesus.
that.
Linda DeJesus. She's somebody that has worked in Lilydale, and I do believe, I can't remember her course, but look her up on the lilydaleassembly.com website and see what she's asking, she's offering.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Who was it over here?
The young lady over here in the white sweater?
Here?
Yeah. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I'm empathic, and I have the ability to have outer body experiences, and I used to see ghosts when I was a child. But I feel like sometimes I lose my abilities. How do I gain them back, or
Well, there could be a couple things going on here. One is your information overload. It's like, okay, I need a rest from this. I mean, your higher self will say, okay, this is enough for now, because it can really mess up your electrical circuits too. You've got to be really grounded and lots of boundaries and that kind of thing, and try to keep it as clear and clean as you possibly can. The other thing is that you might be changing guides. And that's like you just feel like you're totally wiped out, you have no gifts whatsoever, and you think, what is going on? And then boom, they're back and even better.
Okay.
Right? So that's what it feels like with guides, moving and changing. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. This lady over here in the peach, thank you. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good,
so
thanks.
for the last couple of years, I've been experiencing a lot of vertigo and other health issues that have come along with that. And it was labeled as an issue from a car accident with my neck. But as I come to connect more with Source and ground myself, I find that that's dissipating and it's almost not part of my life anymore. And I'm wondering if that is what it is. Rather than a physical injury, it's more...
Right. I think it's both, actually. The injury might have bumped you up. Do you know what I'm saying? I would wear dark jewelry like hematite or tourmaline, and every full moon clear it. So before during and after a full moon, put it out into the window sill, inside, and clear it. So you'll feel like you're staying grounded with that one piece of jewelry.
Tourmaline.
Tourmaline or hematite, anything
Okay.
dark, like a dark colored stone.
Okay.
Black tourmaline.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Where would you like me?
This lady over here, thanks. Oh, how about the lady here, and then we'll come up to the lady here, because I'm trying to save my runner here. Okay, hello.
Hi. I have read in books that we have created prior to being on Earth, we have created our own path that we are now in.
Yes.
Is that, and
Yes.
is
It's
that
called,
true?
Yeah, it's called the Akashic Records. It's like a contract. Now, it's a theme-based contract. Nothing is fated. You've got choice and personal responsibility throughout this whole contract, and whether or not you decide to do what you've written and how you're going to do it. So anybody who says this is fated, this is the way it's going to be, I disagree with them, because I believe free will is a gift from the source, and it allows us to learn through our own choices.
So when something happens to us,
Mm-hmm.
are we creating that ourselves, or
Not necessarily.
How does that, like,
No.
how does that work? Like, I have just gone through a terrible 3-year period
Mhm.
of being extremely ill.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to, sort of visualize is, did I create that was going to happen? And
I'm not sure about
You know what I
that,
mean?
but what I want you to ask yourself is, what have I learned from this? And that learning is part of your Akashics.
okay.
Now, if you didn't get ill, it might have been something else that you would have experienced to hopefully learn what you've learned through the illness. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
I have
you.
to think about it though.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really out
'Cause
there.
it's the same, it's like everything happens for a reason, but then you can't necessarily find the reason immediately. You have to,
You have to-
it will come.
It
You
will come
look
in
for it.
time, but keep asking, what's the message in this? What's the message in this? Why?
so why
and
did this
especially,
happen?
Yeah, especially if you have patterns, the same thing's happening again and again, you got to stop yourself and ask, so that you don't have to keep repeating it until you learn it.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Yeah.
And the lady in green over here, please. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Is Spirit as curious about what we're doing as we are what they're doing? I mean, Lord knows they know what we're doing here, working and doing whatever. We don't know what they're doing, and so we're curious.
Right. Because they are available to see what we're doing, their curiosity is sated much faster than ours to them. So, and I have to say this, they don't see you the same way as you think that they see you. They are attracted by your soul light, and they're attracted by your voice. So when I give messages, I want to hear your voice so I can connect with you. So Spirit says, oh, okay, they're listening. Now I can start speaking. So it's the voice and the light, which is your soul.
So is someone listening to me now?
Yeah, yeah. And if you're thinking about them, that
I
brings
am.
them closer to you. Yeah, so don't worry, we'll get to it. Trying to jump in, are you? Yeah, so that's, yeah, they don't need to be curious, because they can be right there where they want to be. So, and I'm also going to say this, spirits are different than ghosts. That's a big thing. Ghosts have not transitioned. They're spirit, but they're ghosts. So they're the ones in the houses. They're the ones that you're driving along a road and you might see a hitchhiker and you look back and there's nobody there. Whereas spirit have made the transition. How many of you have seen the movie Ghost? Okay, remember the white light where Patrick Swayze said, nope, not yet. No, yeah, I got it. Okay, that nope, not yet meant he was a ghost until he went into the light, right? I thought they did a great job on that movie. I came out of there thinking, oh, goodness, they got something right. Except those black things, forget it. It doesn't work that way. That was just Hollywood kind of playing with us. Yes?
Hi. So you've piqued my curiosity with this cachet. My father passed away at Christmas 14 years ago,
Aw.
and I always had the feeling that my mother would die at Christmas time too. And on the 10th anniversary of my father's death, I went upstairs in the morning to wake up my mother because she wasn't sick, and she was dead.
She want to go home?
And we buried them exactly 10 years to the day, like apart, like their funerals. And so when you started talking about the cachet, it made me sort of think, is that what's coming into play there, perhaps?
Probably. It's your intuition. And I'm not sure who was feeding you that information from the spirit world, but for me, it's always about getting prepared for something. I mean, having somebody pass at Christmas is pretty tough, and having another person pass at Christmas is doubly so. So somehow Spirit, in their loving way, was trying to prepare you for something that was pretty inevitable. So think of it as a help rather than a hindrance, because that's what they come in love. Yeah.
Thank you.
And remember, our reward is going home. It's so much nicer over there. There's very few spirit that I will talk to that say, I wish I was here. They're very content. Okay, can we pass it on to this lady here, please? Thank you very much.
My brother died a few years ago, and he'd had cancer.
Yes.
Well, I guess it was about a year later. I was at a girlfriend's place, and I was talking about what one of his favorite things was making lemon pie. And we were laughing, teasing about it because he beat his wife in the Uxbridge Fair. And the next thing you know is... in pie baking, yeah. Sorry. And then what happened was my cell phone rang her cell phone that was over in the charger. She went to get the phone, and there was no one there. So she hung it up. And at that point, mine started to ring. But there was nobody there either.
Oh, yes, there was.
Well,
it was Mr. Pie Baker himself.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
wondering, but
Yeah.
I've always sort of had this thing in the back of my head. Would that be, or am I
Yes.
just making this up?
No, I love these stories because they love to play with electronics. They can do that. They can turn computers on. They can stop clocks. They can turn televisions off. They play with cell phones, anything electronic. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's like, that, and I've had it so that cell phones were actually off and were ringing when I was doing my work. So I never get offended if you say, but it was off. To me, that's perfect evidence of spirit in the room. Yep.
That's surprising.
And I hope it happens. That'll really freak us all out, wouldn't it? Love it. The lady right behind you. Thank you.
When my mom passed away, we looked everywhere for her wedding rings that she was very proud of and loved. And several of us looked in the ring boxes, jewelry boxes, everywhere for these rings. And we just kind of put it to rest, and we called the hospital, they didn't have them. And a few days later, I thought, well, I'll look one more time. And I looked in the boxes that I had looked in, and there were the rings.
Yep.
And
Yep.
what I felt was, she's let go.
I'm going to add a little bit more to that. The spirit world takes the vibrations off jewelry, and it's called psychometry. And what they do is they analyze the vibration and get a better understanding of that person, and I have a sense that that's what happened, that they borrowed the rings, they got the energy for an energetic understanding of your mom, and when they were finished with them, they put them back. Now, my sister had a ruby ring that she was adamant had put in a certain place, and it was gone. And a week later, she woke up and it was on her pillowcase, and it was shiny, brand new. And she's a medium as well. And what they had done was they had analyzed it so that they could work with her. Have you ever found pennies on well, not pennies anymore. Remember when we had the penny and it was on the floor and you think, wait a minute, I was in this room. What? And And what they do is they dematerialize it from a place where it's been lost. They don't steal it. And they rematerialize it where it will be seen and appreciated as an apport from the spirit world. Feathers. I've been to physical mediumship circles where things are falling from the ceiling, like old military buttons and old coins, like from the 1800s. So you know that it's not in somebody's pocket, right? And you know, these are like, oh man, pennies from heaven. But they're so much gifts from the spirit world. It's amazing what they can do. There is a blog called I think it's still on, it's Ectoplasmic Hand, where I sat in on a seance where I actually saw an ectoplasmic hand be created by the spirit world. And the book, Compassionate Messenger, we wanted to put it in there, and the publisher said, I don't think so. That's a little out there. So I put it on my website. So if you want to read about it, it's there. Just kind of search for it, because it's a little ways back. But it'll be in the next book, right, Van? Yep. All right. Okay, so I'm going to be the runner. Okay, thank you. You guys have to stop being shy, because this is question number 3 here. Oh, for you. Okay. Yes.
Yes, my question number 1 is, my mother present here this evening.
I don't know yet. I'm not on. So
oh, I see.
We'll get to that in a minute. If I was on all the time, I would be like inundated with spirits. So that's part of my boundaries, is to shut down and not let them in, so I can be with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
My second question is, in a vision I had several years ago, my father, who has been gone for 30 years, he came to me in this vision and walked with me on this path through an arbor to this wooden gate door with the arch. And we had a conversation where he asked for forgiveness for many things that had happened in my family's earlier years. And when he had finished saying his words, we continued to walk up to the door, and I was able to then open the door for him to allow him to pass through.
But you couldn't go through, right?
No, I couldn't
Yeah.
go through.
That is the portal for him to go back into heaven.
So he did.
Yep.
Go
He had
back.
a nice conversation with you.
Yes.
And I hope that, there was some kind of closure
There
for
was
you.
closure for me,
Lovely.
yes. Mhm.
And you see, they can go home with karma. And karma is like, behavior that you have to kind of atone for. And they will sometimes
see.
do it in a dream. They will come back, like as you said, coming into a dream state,
Yes.
asking for forgiveness,
Oh.
so that karmically speaking, you're released from it and he's released from it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh, that was
Thank you.
very
I'm going to
powerful.
actually pass it over to here first. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi.
Okay. I'm not too sure what my question here is. If you live with spirit, I live in a haunted house.
Right.
It's on the website as a haunted house. I live in a haunted house, and they're all very lovely.
Yeah. So why change it, right?
Well, this is it.
Yeah.
If we all get along fine and they don't do anything wrong, they show themselves to children.
That's
and
not
we
surprising.
Hear about it and whatnot. But why do they want to stay there? They have been there for 125 years.
Because they love that house.
Yeah, I know, it's gorgeous.
And they think it's better being there than in heaven. They're so attached to the house. So actually, you're intruding in their space.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But the neat thing about it is, if there's somebody you don't want coming to your house, sick them on them.
Because I often wonder if they'll turn and give us problems. We have a
No.
lot of electronic problems there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not surprised. She
Lights
has
and
electronic
whatnots.
problems there, right? Okay.
I don't know if someday they'll get mean or...
No. If your behavior stays the same and you're loving to them, they'll be loving to you.
Oh, okay, so I don't
They
have
are
to worry.
people without a body, basically.
Mhm.
And also think that you're living with them, not they're living with you, because they were there first.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
even though you pay the bills.
I know.
How good is that, right? They got it good. Hello.
Hi. So my question is about spirit guides. I've sensed them quite a bit, and they've manipulated certain electronics of mine and emails, and but there's been times where I've wanted them to intervene and they haven't. So what?
What's that about, right?
Yeah. When
Okay.
do they decide to intervene and not?
I don't think it's your guides that's doing all the funny stuff with you. I think it could be spirit, like spirit people, like people you know or love, rather than your guides. They don't have time for that. They're here to teach you and to guide you. That's it.
Right.
So if you're in a real pickle, a real jam, they will come in and help you. I live in Toronto. So you understand, collectors or express, which one's better, right? So I'm asking that all the time. Unfortunately, there's no collectors and express coming up here. See, who turned the phone on? Is that your phone off? Oh, okay, that's all right. That's fine. Was it off to begin with, Donna? There you go.
Right.
Thank you
What's up
for
with
being
that?
the experiment. So I will ask them things like that, and then I'll immediately get an answer. I also ask them for parking, and I get that too if I give them enough time. But they're not with you 24/7, leading you around and taking care of you and all that stuff. They're there to guide you, and some of them are there to protect you. But live your life, and if they're interfering with you, it's probably not guides.
How would I know who it is?
Well, if they're interfering with you, you've eliminated the guide thing. I feel it's spirit.
Okay.
So you could always ask in your mind. Are you quite psychic yourself?
Yes.
I sense you are. So ask the question, who's here? And if you hear a name or a description, that's your answer. Don't kind of left brain it and say, okay, that was just something I made up. That's your answer. Okay, and then you'll understand it. Get in control of it, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Through asking questions. Spirit's getting antsy, so we're going to only have maybe one or two questions because I start feeling them on me and it's like, okay, it's our turn. So
I think it's pretty safe to say that none of us in this room is without sin of some sort. And you mentioned atonement. When you become a spirit, we will all have to atone for whatever our wrongdoings were. When we are then spirits in the next world, what kind of atonement are you speaking about that we will need to do, and how will we be having to carry that out?
you will view your entire life when you go over there. Everything. Every thought, every word, and every deed that you have created. And what you have to do is look at what you've done through the eyes of love. And the things that you haven't done that were loving is what you'll have to atone for.
What do you mean by atone? What kind of physical thing would one spirit have to do to consider?
It's not physical, it's thought, and how we would recreate ourselves through a loving persona rather than how we might have acted here on the earth plane.
So basically it's just admitting that you have erred, that you have done something perhaps you shouldn't have, and basically saying, I'm sorry.
In so many words, yes, but feeling it from the heart. Because I'll tell you, over there they know what sorry means. Okay, this is our last question because I'm telling you, Spirit's driving me nuts here. Okay.
Hi. A couple months ago, my husband woke up during the middle of the night and was looking out the bathroom window and saw multiple colored pillars of light coming from the sky at the end of the street. And the next day he told me about it, and I said, there was a lady who was very ill, and she was coming home the next day from the hospital, and she died shortly after. So I said, well, I think it was her angels or spirit coming to prepare the house for her. Would that have been right, or?
It's possible. I'm just wondering if it was ETs.
Okay, and
I'm wondering. I'm not sure.
he did see a spaceship when he was younger, so.
Well, then he has a propensity to be able to see these things,
Okay.
whereas some of us are not able to.
Okay.
So I'm kind of leaning towards that. It feels very ET-like.
Yeah, that's what he felt,
Yeah.
that it was something extraterrestrial.
Mhm.
So, okay.
And I don't believe they came to get her.
Okay.
No. They probably were
Unrelated.
learning about the death process maybe, or her experiences, or whatever. I don't feel that it was invasive or intrusive at all. It's just a learning experience for them.
Okay. And he was also in the basement. These things are happening to him, and then he tells me. And nobody else was home, and he heard the toilet flush. So, does spirit do that? Does that do that
No,
too?
you
or-
know, they can play with electronics. Why not the toilet?
Okay.
Did somebody
Thank
forget
you.
to flush? All right, thank you so much. I have to, oh, did everybody get a chance to look at this? Did everybody get this? Yeah? Okay. All right, so I have to get started, and I'm going to say this. You know what? I have a group of 5 people that belong to one person. There are 5 spirit that are coming in, and they're male and female, so I'm going to try and identify them all. But if anybody can take 5 people that have passed a spirit in the last 2 to 3 years, someone's had 5 people. Thank you. All right, and your father is one of them? Yeah. Okay, and there's a female that's with him, but I don't feel it's your mom. Is that your mom? That's my mom. Somebody in your mom's family that just passed? Okay, thank you. In the 2 to 3 years? Yeah. Okay. It feels like around that time. And there's a young male as well. My brother. Okay, and he passed a spirit as well in this time? You've had a lot of loss. I'm so sorry. Well, you can understand why they'd come in first. I'm getting hugs. Are you guys getting goosebumps right now? Yeah. Okay, that's spirit hug. They're like, yay, we got in. Who's the one with cancer? 2 are with cancer. There's 2 with cancer. Okay, and she passed a spirit as well? Okay, and who had the... Okay, and she's in... Okay, all right. So I have those 2 people coming in as well. They're coming in with a great deal of love and light. They are so glad that you're here. You are speaking to them too. You haven't, this is your daughter? Yeah. Okay, you haven't told anybody that you're actually having conversations with your spirit people.
She has a lot of dreams. She has a lot of conversations.
But you know what? You're having conversations in your conscious with the spirit people who have passed. Like your husband, right? Your husband's passed? And you talk to him a lot, don't you? You do? In your thoughts, Yeah, okay. And they're just saying, thank you, do that. Continue doing that, because that brings them, see, my job becomes easier when you do that kind of thing. You also have a photograph not only of your husband, but somebody else in your purse. Oh my God. Right? And is this one of the 5 that's in spirit?
3 of them she has.
She has 3, okay. Yeah. You guys did your homework.
Oh.
Thank you. Oh, there's 4, thank you. Okay, so, wow, is this your brother? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Goodness. And is this, okay, this is your brother. He seems to be the spokesperson for the family. You're not surprised. Okay, he calls himself the loudmouth, I have to say. He is a loudmouth. He hasn't changed. And he has a great sense of humor, and he keeps everybody laughing over there. So you want to remember this by remembering he's trying to be funny over there for those guys because they miss you as much as you miss them. And I want you to remember your son and your brother's humor so that when you do think about them, it's not through tears, but it's through laughter. Okay, who was at Costco or some kind of big store just recently?
I'm there all the time.
Okay, he thinks that's a scream. You go in there with the intention of getting a couple of things and you come out with a cart full.
All the time. It's like my crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks that's really funny. He really gets a kick out of that. And did you just put like a big bag of rice or something in there just recently? Like wild rice or something?
In
your Costco cart. Some kind of rice or
She
something?
made rice tonight for dinner.
Oh, okay. Is it from Costco?
Probably, that's where we shop.
Okay. Can I just leave you with that? They're in your face all the time. They know about your rice. They know about Costco. Whenever you think about them, it brings them closer to you, okay?
Can I just ask a question about my brother?
Sure.
Just
Be
'cause-
careful what you ask.
And then
He's a jokester.
Well, yeah, you're the second medium to say that he's quite funny.
He is.
He was a jokester along with my father, but the way he died, I can't get over. It torments me every day.
Let it go, let it go, let it go, and remember him from there back. And then you'll find the laughter back. Don't judge his passing as the piece that you remember him by. Just please let that go.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know what he's talking about there, but he just wants you to remember the fun.
Yeah, we weren't talking when he died.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They come from their higher self, and he's here because he loves you. Okay, so may I leave that with you?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Somebody lost a child. Somebody lost a child. Hi. Was it a little blonde-haired baby?
He's not. He just died a month ago.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, did you lose a small baby? Who lost a little infant? Blonde? Blonde-haired? I'll come to you too in a minute, okay? Blonde-haired?
When he was small, he was blondest.
No, thank you. I want to come to you guys, but it's a baby. I'm seeing a baby that passed to spirit. And I'm feeling like it's also, it may have even been in utero, that it passed in spirit in utero? Okay.
I don't know if he's blonde.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you wouldn't know, but he was.
could be.
Yeah, he was blonde. Did somebody just put some incense on or something? I'm sorry, I'm allergic to that.
Oh, it's not incense.
No, it's oils, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, you didn't know.
I just put it on my hand so I can just go to the washroom.
Would you mind very much? Thank you. My sinuses will fill. That's another problem with this work is my hearing and my sight and my smell has been elevated to a point where I can't wear perfume. I have to put earplugs in my ears when I go to the gym, and sometimes the light really bothers me. Then I have to wear sunglasses. Oh well. Okay, so we're back to here. So he comes in with a great deal of love and light. I know that it's been time since he's passed to spirit, but he's still with you and you sense him.
Absolutely.
He has not gone to be another baby. He is your baby. And so may I just let you know that, yeah, that's because he's right there beside you. And Shiver is also, yeah, he does. And I actually see an energy in your lap. And I don't know whether there's times when you feel like a warmth in this area.
I cannot get rid of the belly that I got from him.
Okay.
It will not go away at all, and I hold it.
Okay, well that's his way of connecting with you. May I leave that with you?
Can I just say something?
Yes.
You told me that last time I was here, and
Oh,
you
for
said to
goodness
look up
sakes.
into the clouds one day, and there would be wings, and there was.
Oh,
And I took a picture of
wonderful.
it.
Wow. Yay, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm going to come to you. And you lost a child? And the child's name? Nicholas, okay. Was he named after somebody?
No.
I feel like a connection with name. Maybe his middle name or something?
Yeah, his middle name, my dad.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. There is okay, I'm
Yes.
glad you came.
His Yeah, so his name
Okay.
is Nicholas Willem.
Okay, because I'm feeling like there's a connection between the name. That's why I want to find some more information about him so I know him with you.
Yes.
Did he have kind of big feet for his size?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, because he's kind of tapping his foot like this and showing, hey, look at my feet. I feel every once in a while you may even feel hands running through your hair. Do you ever feel that? Like you feel like it's not lice, okay? It's it's the spirit world, and I feel like they're brushing my hair, or you're feeling like goosebumps on your head.
No.
Okay, will you watch for that because that's him. He likes to play with hair somehow. Do you remember that with him? No. Okay, well he's in the spirit world playing with hair. Yeah, who knows why? Do you have a pair of jeans of his or something? You have a photograph?
Mm-hmm.
May I? Thank you. Do you have a pair of jeans of his still? There's clothing that you have of his.
Yes, well, we have all of his clothing.
Okay, well go look for the jeans. I feel like there's a tear in the knee, and that's how you'll know what I'm talking about here. And do you have dirty shoes of his, like shoes that he would have, stinky shoes that he would have worn a lot? Like soccer shoes, yeah, because I actually saw little dimples on the bottom of the feet.
Yes.
Is that what this is?
He was a soccer player.
Soccer player, okay. So, and you still have his shoes?
He was buried with his favorite shoes,
Oh,
but
okay.
we still have other shoes.
Okay, but do you have a pair of his soccer shoes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What he would like you to do is to tie the laces together and hang them up somewhere. And I don't know what he's talking about here, but do you understand that? As a memorial to him in the house, okay? When you can manage it, okay? I do feel that he was an eater at one time. Did he like peanut butter and jam or something?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm seeing big, white, thick bread with globs of peanut butter and jam, and he would scorf it down. He was always so hungry. Do you remember that?
He had a big appetite.
He did.
Yes.
Well, he still does. So I don't know whether you have made, oh, okay. Is somebody's birthday coming up? Is his birthday coming up or something?
His birthday was March 15th.
Okay, so it's just passed. Okay, because he's goofing with me and showing me this big peanut butter and jam sandwich with a candle in it. So that's why I know it was a birthday. Okay, so, and I do feel that it was difficult for you to celebrate it, but you did do something for him on his birthday. Okay, and thank you for doing that, because they come around on their birthday. Now, do me a favor. Okay, Easter's just passed, but any kind of major celebration with family, take lots of pictures, because you're going to have a spirit orb showing up, and that'll be your son, okay? And if you don't know what a spirit orb is, are you on Facebook? Are you, no? Okay, go to my website, and there are orb pictures there, so you can see them.
Yes.
Okay, lots, digital camera, photographs. You got homework, Mom.
We haven't taken pictures since his death because
Please,
they would seem empty without him. So.
Well, he's in them. He's in the pictures. So I'm getting goosebumps because the orb represents him. It looks like a bubble, okay? When you can, when you're feeling up to it, and it's usually around family gatherings, they come because they love these kinds of things. Especially outdoors for him. He likes running around. He will stop long enough to get in one of those photographs. Now, I took 77 photographs and 13 came up with spirit orbs. So you've got to take a lot of pictures. And the other thing too with spirit orbs, take one and take one right away so that you know it's not dust, because it's usually in the same spot. Okay? Thank you.
Is he able to tell you what he's doing?
Actually, he's now here with you. He hasn't been telling me that. He's more around. Do you have a little boy, another boy here in the family? Because I'm feeling like his brother or something. Okay, because I'm feeling like he's around his brother a lot, kind of consoling him and being with him. Is he who's the younger brother? I'm getting confused whether it's him or the one that you.
Nicholas, who passed, he was 12. His brother is 11.
Okay, so he's with the younger brother. Okay, that's his big job right now. Okay. And he is with you too, of course. He's with his family. He loves you guys, so he won't be leaving anytime soon. Was there a stuffed animal that was associated with him, when he was younger, like a bear or something? I'm seeing a bear, stuffed animal. Okay, am I jumping? Excuse me. Am I jumping to somebody who had a child who passed a spirit that had a bear? Okay, may I leave that with you? Thank you. They move so fast. Okay, so your child had the bear.
No, it's not a bear. I brought it with me.
Okay,
It's a bear.
okay. It's not a bear, but you brought it with you. Okay, can I see it, please? Oh, that would look like a bear to me. Thank you. It's a puppy dog. Okay, and I will give this back to you. And this is a form of psychometry because his energy's on this because this was important to him. So I'm here because of this guy. Was there issues with his legs?
He was paralyzed at the end.
Okay, because my legs are actually just vibrating, and I'm just going to tell you this, he ain't so now, okay? He's not paralyzed now. He's doing very, very well. He's telling me a little bit, okay, this is weird, because he's telling me a little bit about his situation, but he doesn't want to talk about it because this is what's happening. Yeah, he doesn't want to upset you guys. He doesn't want to see you cry. So he's just explaining a little bit about himself. Okay, so tell me something. Who likes the oranges? Who's eating oranges? He
likes
just,
oranges?
yeah, who's eating oranges?
I don't know. He likes fruit.
No, here, in the family. Do you have a bowl of oranges?
Well, yeah, we're
Okay.
huge fruit-eating people.
Okay, was he a big orange fan then?
He's ate a lot of fruit.
Okay. Now, I don't know. I don't know whether you're going to go home. I don't want you to start looking for this, okay? Let it happen. But I see an orange beside a bowl, not in the bowl. So it could be that he's going to do that for you, just to say, here. And you know what you can do? Take a picture of it. Don't leave the orange there. It'll rot, right? But take a picture of it and just say, okay, there's proof. There's proof right there, all right? Was he playing with computers? Was he a big computer person?
Well, I mean, he worked for me, so
Okay.
he was on computers all the time.
Okay.
That's his job.
Okay, and I just feel like, is there a problem with one of your computers right now? Because he's telling me that you don't have Windows XP, do you?
Oh, I don't know. He solved all the computer
Okay,
problems.
because he's telling me there's a computer problem. Check to see if do you have a Mac or a PC?
We have one Mac and we have some PCs as well.
Okay, check the PC, because he says it needs upgrading.
Oh, okay.
Okay, may I leave that with a lot of love and light? I've got more children to go to, so I'm going to, thank you. All right, so there was somebody else? Who had the child? Okay, thank you. Here you go. Okay. Okay. Did he have really short hair? Really short hair? Okay. Okay. He's talking about basketball. He didn't play basketball, did he? Or
He played every sport.
Okay, but he really enjoyed basketball? Was he kind of a tall drink of milk? Well, he is now. He likes to think of himself as tall and thin. I think that's what he always wanted to be. I see him slowing down. I don't feel it was an accident. I feel it was illness. Was that correct? Okay, thank you. He's not slowing down now. He's just telling me a little bit about himself, so I know I'm with you. He's showing me a band, a wristband. Are you wearing something that would remind you of him?
I put this watch in my purse.
Okay, may I have that, please? Gosh, you guys are making it easy for me tonight. Thank you.
He loves skull and crossbones.
God help him. Well, I don't think there's any of that over there now. Okay. I also feel like he had a sense of humor as well. Like as soon as I touch this thing, it's like, okay, let's have some fun here. Be kind to the medium. I feel like he had a lot of friends. And with his passing, I feel like there were a lot of kids that came to the funeral. You understand that? And he was really their first experience of someone that they knew who had crossed a spirit. He's sorry that he had to be the teacher. Okay, excuse my language, but this is how he's putting it, okay? Did you lay him out?
Lay him out.
Oh, that's what he's saying.
He died in my arms. And I
Okay.
laid him down on the bed.
Okay, thank you. I thought it was very odd the way he said it, and I don't want any disrespect, but please try to take it in the context with which he would give it, okay? You know, he's so full of life. He still is so full of life. Was he cremated? Okay, somebody around you was cremated. Who was cremated? Somebody passed a spirit and they were cremated. Okay, thank you. Was it Allison? Okay, so she's just coming in, so I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, anyway, you know what? It's not polite over there. It's not like a bank queue. They'll just jump in, right? So Allison will wait. And your son's name is?
Blake.
Blake, okay. Okay. I'm always hesitant to say exactly how they say it, but please know that I'm on your side. He's telling me that he needed a kick in the pants. Was he kind of like needed motivation to get things done? No. Around school and stuff like that?
He didn't go to school.
Oh, so
Near the end.
okay. Well, that's because he was unwell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. He's just like his humor is coming through that way that he feels like he needed a kick in the pants. All right? Does he have a sister? Okay, and is she beatifying him? Do you know what I mean by that? Making him like a saint? Because she's got to stop that. It's ridiculous. I'm not a saint. She's not here tonight, is she?
No.
Okay, so
She's
that's
14.
okay. Well, 14-year-olds are allowed to come here. It's okay, but just let her know that she's getting a message from her brother. He's calling himself the big brother. Was he older?
No,
He considered himself a big brother. Was he kind of taking after her, taking care of her kind of thing, watching out for her? I know at 9, who cares, right? He's like, he's beyond his years. You understand that? So I feel like he was taking care of his sis, and he's still doing that in the spirit world. I consider him an old soul. I really do.
So
And you
did
can,
I.
yeah, and you can tell by the eyes. There's a lot of wisdom in the eyes. And
blue eyes.
yeah,
Tons of wisdom.
you took the words right out of my mouth. Now I got to work harder. Yeah, because I saw really big blue eyes just before you said it. So anyways, no, he's okay. He's kind of gangly for me. He's kind of goofing around, and his legs are kind of doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And he just wants to be remembered as the fun kid before he got sick, okay? All right? And I do feel that there were times that you and he just had your private, quiet time together. You can still have that. Talk to him. He's there. And you will hear him after a while. What will happen is you'll recognize the thought impression and the cadence of the thought impression, and you will recognize that it's him. It'll require practice, okay? And you know what? I'm getting the same picture as you. Make sure you look up into the sky. You will see a set of wings, not skull and crossbone. Okay? May I leave that with you? Are you okay? Okay, thank you. All right, here she is. Yeah, I see you sit in the back row. It doesn't matter, does it? All right. I know Allison. She's a scream. She's a wonderful gal, and she passed to spirit not that long ago. She's talking about a school bus. Do you know anything about a school bus? Was she involved with a school bus, or you involved with a school bus? Was there an incident with a school bus just recently? Like a kid?
I work with school buses every day.
Okay. Was there a kid put on the wrong bus or something, and you found out about it? She's just aware of it.
Okay.
Okay? And it's not your fault, so, that's why she can out you this way.
Okay.
She got quiet. That was her
no.
message.
Allison, come back.
Get back. Oh, she's here, but she says there are other people that need the time. But that's her, isn't it?
It is.
She's like an instigator. She just wants to say, Mom, I'm here.
That's great.
Okay? Can I leave that with you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, did I get all the children? It's really important that I get the children. Okay. I've got a really neat-looking lady. She's about this tall. She's got dyed auburn red hair. She's got white skin and heavy makeup, and she's a scream. And she is not a grandmother look, but she was like a grandmother. Like, she comes across as that kind of lady. Anybody recognize her? Yeah, and clothing was not conservative. She was like...
She's somebody I've only met a couple times.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay.
It's my aunt.
Okay. All right. Could you repeat that?
It's my aunt.
Okay, and was she a grandmother?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's very tiny, and she had a deep, deep voice.
Yeah, and the hair. That's really what she's coming through as well. You're too conservative for her. You know that. Yeah, so she's going to tone it down a bit. Did she wear glasses?
I only met her a few times, but
Okay.
she's very psychic.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because she's playing on the glasses.
Could be.
Yeah, or you need to get your eyes checked, one or the other.
I just started wearing glasses.
You just start with wearing glasses. Okay, she's aware of that. Sometimes, I don't understand what they're doing. They just do stuff to me. So thank you for enlightening me. Shoes. Was she nuts about shoes, do you know? You are. Did you just buy a pair of shoes recently? Okay. Were they kind of like out of your style? Like you wouldn't...
No, they're a little bit bigger than I needed, but I got wide feet.
Okay, all right. No, I'm talking about the style. There's a pair of shoes that you bought that were not really in style, and you're considering whether you're going to wear them or not. They would be something she'd wear.
They were a little bit flashy.
Okay, yeah, okay. She just knows about the shoes. She didn't go shopping with you, but she's been in your closet. I feel that she had a lot of stuff when she passed to spirit. And I'm feeling like you have a lot of stuff too. Yeah, maybe, she says. Well,
I lost a lot of my things, but I've accumulated a lot in a
yes,
short time.
it's amazing how we can accumulate to the space that we're in. Because I have a feeling that you're going to go through your stuff. And she is not the one you want to call in to help. Because she'll say, oh no, keep that, maybe you'll use that. No, put that over there, and everything will just be sorted out differently, but you won't get rid of anything. Did you get your hair cut recently or change your hairstyle? Okay, she really likes it. Okay, you can say yes into the mic because that really helps for me. Thank you. And she really likes it. And I feel like you're in a new beginning. It's like there's new for you. Don't be afraid of it. Put one foot in front of the other. There's a lot of good stuff coming up for you. And I feel as though you had to get rid of the old in order for the new.
I lost my dad, which is a really tough thing for me.
Well, I got your aunt today, okay? I'm not sure whether your dad's going to come in. It just depends on him and whether he wants to come in. But please listen to what your aunt is saying, or your great aunt or great aunt?
No, it's my aunt.
Okay, that there's a lot of new stuff coming for you. Say yes to it. Okay, say yes to it. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you. All right. Actually, can you hold that? I don't want to hold that while I'm just trying to find my spirit people. I'll pay you later. Okay. Somebody's wearing a piece of jewelry that has like a pendant. It's like a pendant, and it's somebody's spirit. It's a spirit person's pendant. Somebody's wearing it. Okay. 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 And it's your mom's. It's your mom's, and yours. Mother-in-law. Okay, that would be the same for me. Okay. And she's a really short lady. Yeah? Okay, I thought I was with her, but I had to eliminate. Sorry, Linda. Okay. All right. So, thank you. And she's telling me you did that consciously. You put that on tonight for that reason, that you hope to get a message, correct?
I started wearing it yesterday.
In hopes that you would get a message tonight. Ta-da! There you are. It worked. Okay, she's opening up a card. It looks like a greeting card of sorts, and it's got music in it. Do you understand this?
I'm a singer.
Okay. But is there somebody's birthday coming up, and is it yours?
Her passing is coming up.
Okay.
4
No.
years.
It feels like a birthday to me. She's talking about a birthday. Is there a birthday coming up for you, Linda?
I've got a whole bunch of birthdays coming up.
Okay.
My mother's birthday is May the 9th.
Okay, it might be a me too. I might have two spirit talking to me at the same time, and rather than making it like I'm trying to decipher who they are, I'm just going to keep doing it, and you nod your heads or say yes or something, just to let me know who I'm with, because I can't see them. Okay, so, who was shock white when, like hair-wise, when they passed to spirit? Who's yours? Okay, so I'm back with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I'm seeing custard. Custard. Custard? Your mother made custard?
Sometimes.
Can you see what's happening here? Yeah, of course. Well, it'd be trifle then, wouldn't it? Yeah, so I'm back and forth between two, and unfortunately we don't have mics, so I'll have to repeat everything that's said here. Okay, so we're with you now. Custard. Okay, who's got the foot problem between the two of you? Who's got the foot problem in this world? Do you have feet problem? Your feet sore?
I wear orthotics, but
Okay. But your feet ached? Did you have bunions?
no.
Do you have bunions?
I do.
You have bunions. No, I'm with these two. Did either of the mothers have bunions? Who had bunions? That's kind of a private thing.
Did.
She did? Okay, all right. So I'm still with you. This is your husband's mom?
Yes.
Okay, and he's not going to believe a word you tell him that his mother came, because he's been waiting for her, and he hasn't felt that she's been around. Do you understand that? Ta-da!
My husband?
Yes. Is he in spirit or is he here?
He's in spirit.
Okay, well, he hasn't been around either?
No, he passed maybe 4 months before her.
Okay. And I'm not okay, what she's saying to me, because I can't tell whether they're here or they're there, that you have not felt that he's been around.
Right.
Okay. Well, she's going to push him.
That sounds exactly like
Okay.
her.
And doing this too. She's going to push him to be more apparent. And this musical card, I don't know, it might have something to do with your husband, this musical card. I don't know whether there's something that's been put away and you're going to open it up and you're going to have the start of your life, because you're going to open the card and it starts this singing. But just know that when you're impressed to go through something and you find it, your husband's doing it.
Okay.
Now, do you ever get goosebumps between your shoulder and elbow?
No.
No? Watch for that.
Okay.
Okay, because that's a spirit hug. And they're so fleeting and they're so innocuous that you wouldn't even notice it. But that's actually from your mother-in-law, who's quite a little firebrand.
Yes, she is.
And may I leave that with you?
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to pass the mic up to here. Okay. And it's Linda, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I know I've seen you before, but I couldn't remember your name, and Spirit's giving me Linda, so I need to confirm with you it's Linda. Okay.
Yes.
So, and I feel like your mother was a much more gentle, quieter kind of energy. Do you understand that? Okay. And but I do feel that she was the matriarch of the family. She just hit it well.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. And she's come in. There's been some health issues, not around you necessarily, but within the family.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's aware of it, and she's doing all that she can to make things easier for whomever this is. She says, I don't really want to tell you because there's so many people here, and this person that's ill or has had the issues is very private about it. I feel that very few people know that this person has been sick. Okay, so she's aware of it. She's doing the best she can. And I also smell a perfume with her. Do you recognize, like, Evening in Paris or something? I don't even know if they make it anymore. But there's a certain scent that you're going to. She's just changed it. Lilacs. Have you ever smelt lilacs? And not being around a lilac bush. Pay attention to that. That's her.
Okay.
Okay, she'll come through in scent. Okay, may I leave that with you?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I got the high sign. I'm sorry. I could have gone on till 11, but you know, you guys got to go to bed, right? Good for you. Before I say goodnight, if there's anybody that's been read that does not want to be on this tape, please see Donna in the back, the one with the cell phone issue. It is always a pleasure. This is my second time being here. It's always a pleasure to come and be with such open-minded, wonderful individuals as yourself. Without you, I'd be nothing. And I just want to thank you so much for sharing your spirit people with me and listening to all the things that I've said. And thank you all so much for coming. Namaste.